Hello, this is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network, live and in the clear from the Regional Air Cargo Carrier Association conference in Scottsdale, Arizona. Today we're visiting with Kathryn Creedy. She is the communications director for the RACCA Association, and we're going to talk a couple things from the conference and about the conference and some ideas for moving forward. Good afternoon, Kathryn. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We're somewhere in the similar jobs, so now you're on the receiving side, I guess. But this is the 21st convention. It's been around for a while. Has it looked like it's grown to you?
Yes, it is. In fact, it is the 21st Annual Regional Air Cargo Carriers Association Convention, and it comes at an opportune time now because we are in a time of transition, both in the industry itself as well as in the organization. As you heard from attending the conference, our longtime beloved president has decided to retire and pass the baton on to new president Jim Goddard, but Stan has been the leader of this. Stan Bernstein has been the leader of this organization since the get-go. He has fostered it. He has completely changed it all over the years, or rather adapted to all the changes in the industry, and he's just a great man in the cargo industry, and he's done a great job. So it's kind of appropriate that we're having this transition now from Stan Bernstein to Jim Goddard, because the industry itself is transitioning. We are transitioning from conventional aircraft and starting to adopt drones and uncrewed aircraft for the delivery of cargo. And so I think that it's a very opportune time that both are happening at the same time. And I've seen the growth since I started with the organization in 2016. We had record attendance this year, and it's a very small conference, but it's intimate, so there are no hierarchies or barriers to communications or anything, and that's what people love about it. And it's on the leading edge of some of the emerging technologies out there. So it's a great venue, and everybody signs up the minute the conference ends for the next conference.
I better get on the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned emerging technologies and drones, and I think there was a lot about electrification of airports and vehicles. It sounds like this is actually a place that a lot of people should be. Who would you recommend for next year to say, hey, these are the kind of things, if you're involved with this, you need to come listen to this? Well,
most of them have already found their way to us. Beta Technologies, X-Wing, Saberwing, they all have the vision going forward. And what's interesting in the industry is they've hired veteran aircraft people, either from FAA or elsewhere, to try to get them through certification. And one of the things that came out on this conference this year was how little they have to do to prove that they're worthy of certification, because the rules are written such a way that if they can prove that they're safe operations, they can actually be certified. But that's a big mountain still. But anybody who's working in advanced air mobility, emerging technologies, electric airplanes, eVTOL, anything that can be applied to the cargo sector. One of the things that people really don't talk about a lot is proving this out to address the societal concerns about autonomy and electric airplanes and urban air mobility and advanced air mobility. And this cargo is where it's all going to be proved out first. So the safety is going to be proved out, the business case is going to be proved out, everything is going to be proved out in the cargo arena. And that's why you see FedEx and UPS and Amazon and all the others really leaning into using drones and emerging technology for cargo delivery. And I think it's going to expand where we serve with cargo. For instance, Saberwing is here, and his early explanations of his aircraft was we can now expand out into really remote areas that don't have the infrastructure that's needed for a conventional aircraft. So I think we're going to be not only growing the membership, which we have, but growing the industry, and really it will be the leading edge of proving out these technologies.
So we may one day not see the Amazon Prime truck going down the road, but the Ameriflight drone going over to bring things faster from Amazon.
And Ameriflight is at the leading edge. It has contracted for the Saberwing Regal, and it has contracted for Nautilus's drone. And so again, we have people in this industry that are forward-thinking enough to say, you know, this could solve some problems for me. This could expand my route network. This could be something that would make my company more successful.
And one of the problems that everybody seems to be issuing is the pilot potential shortage. This is not necessarily removing the pilot, but maybe even making it easier for other pilots to get in. Do you think that's...
Yes, I do. We still have a pilot challenge that will not be solved until, I think, 2035. All the indicators are going in the right directions. Increases in RATP and ATP certification, increases in student pilots, increases in all along the line. But that's not going to be very simple. And cargo carriers, the kids all want to go to an American or Delta, etc. And the cargo carriers are kind of the last thought. But if you really think about working for a cargo carrier, you're not drilling holes in the sky to build your time, or you're not training somebody else to build your time. This is real airline work. And this is what the major carriers look for. If they're not part of a pathway program with a regional commercial carrier, passenger carrier, this is where they really earn their chops on flying a line, flying in difficult conditions, flying at night, etc. So it's a challenging role for pilots, and if pilots want a challenging job, the Regional Air Cargo Carrier Association members couldn't be better for them and their career, because airlines are looking for not the kid who's just built 1,250 hours drilling holes in the sky, because that's extremely detrimental to safety. They are looking for somebody with airline experience, and that's few and far between.
Well, I'm always looking, but as far as the quality of life, cargo may actually be more balanced than airlines.
Absolutely, because you're home at night. It's the routes are 1 to 2 hours, so it's very conducive to a quality of life, and quality of life is now one of the top issues for young pilots coming up into the system. And what's interesting to me is that all the new contracts from Delta and United and American have mentioned quality of life, work rule changes. It's being driven by the younger pilots, and so I have not seen any of the contracts, but I'm extremely interested in these work rule changes, because I've been writing about that since 2017 and seen no progress whatsoever. And so now that we have these new contracts, it'll be interesting to see how the commercial airlines are dealing with quality of life, but you've already got that quality of life in the regional air cargo carriers.
Hopefully they don't equate quality of life, we're just going to give you more money.
No, well, there's going to be more money no matter what, but some of the signs they're seeing is, with the pilots, they're kind of gaming the system. How can I make more money by not working? That's just not going to work. Nobody's going to hire you on that type of a mentality. So we really need dedicated people who want to challenge themselves with cargo operations. And we have pathway programs. We have wonderful pathway programs, both with UPS and FedEx. And you should see the AmeriFlight Pathway program, and I think there's one at Mountain Air Cargo, and these are smaller family-run operations where you get to know everybody, and it's kind of a family rather than a big corporate infrastructure.
So hopefully we get to the point where, yes, I may make more money there, but I like being home. I like just flying rather than being a bus driver.
Yeah. And I've met many commercial air pilots who'd flown 747s and 737s, and their idea of retirement is go play in Alaska, being a bush pilot. So they think about real flying, the flying that they don't get to do because it's all automated on the flight deck, and they miss that, and they're looking forward to it when they're looking at retirement. So, and that's what you get from the regional air cargo carriers, because they're using Caravans, they're using ATR 42s and 72s, they're using Embraer Brasilias, and really that's real flying and the challenge of really learning how to fly on a line.
Yeah. And they don't have the same mandatory retirement as 121, I believe.
I don't think so. I had because before the single level of safety, I knew that there were a lot of pilots who came down from the airlines and went to work for the regionals because they didn't want to stop flying, and they were aged out of the system and they could do that. Whether that's the same now, I don't know. I haven't really followed that, but I do know that ALPA's own members are angry about the fact that they're opposing the age 67 rule, and around the world, we're out of step. You know, if you look at Japan, I think is 70. So we need to look at pilots not as one size fits all, but can he pass a medical? That's number one. And if he can pass the medical, then what? He can fly. But there's got to be other things in there. But we're seeing great stress on pilots these days. We had the Alaska incident. Yesterday we had the Delta incident where pilots just kind of went crazy. And we need to address that section of our medical more than anything else, because mental health has not really been part of the requirements. It's always been a taboo subject, and here you have the U.S. Air Force building in that from the cadet level to saying, we train your body to be fit, and we want you to train your mind to be fit, and we will give you the resources to be fit, body and mind, because it's all about readiness. It should be the same thing in the region, in the commercial airline industry.
I agree. Well, Kathryn, thank you very much for the time. I'm going to let you give anything you want to talk about before we close, and I'm looking forward to being here again next year.
Well, I do a lot on aviation education and creating an ecosystem for aviation and aerospace education down to the kindergarten level. So I want kids, I started at the age of 5, and I want kids to be able to see that no matter what they're interested in, there's a place for them in aviation. There's a career for them. Interior design, animals, gaming, whatever they're interested in, they can have a wonderful career in aviation.
And as they say down at Sun and Fun, the sky is not the limit.
That's exactly right. I actually saw a headline not too long ago that said the sky's the limit for a disabled pilot learning how to fly. And I thought, no, it should be. The sky is no longer the limit. Yeah, so. Well,
once again, thank you very much, Kathryn. It was a pleasure meeting you in person and being here and joining in. And like I said, I hope to continue this relationship.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, and once again, this is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network, live and in the clear from the Regional Air Cargo Carrier Association Convention and Conference in Scottsdale, Arizona in 2023. Have a great day.
Great.